MCG today. He loves having the roof over his head. G'day, Mark Doran. Mark can't seem to hear
Sorry,
us.
guys. Very loud down here. The crowd. Extra pressure on Trent Noble as he lines up in the ruck at the moment, because in the reserves today, Barry Brooks went down and did his anterior cruciate ligament. So in the end of Matthew Capuano leaving the club, they've now got one ruckman left. That's Trent Noble.
Well, that is disappointing news. Mark, thank you for passing that on. Leppich will take Rewalt, Saints to the right, Lions to the left, McDonald winning it down. We're underway on Saturday night footy, and immediately we're going to have a second bounce. Our umpires are Mark Fussell, Hayden Kennedy and Justin Schmidt. So you're tipping the Saints to start strongly, Matthew?
Oh, just that the Lions finished off in a bit of a canter last week against the Demons, and the Saints in that good win over the Hawks.
Yeah, they had a terrific last quarter as Harvey is penalised for holding the ball. Lions set upon him quickly. There was much anticipation. Would they run together, Tony? Sure, Grant Thomas laid down the challenge at the start of the week to Lee Matthews, said, look, let's let them run together, as we see Harvey. Gee, prior opportunity these days.
No, that's the new rule, because it was bounced and he took it out of the bounce.
He took the ruck. It is going to be coming back. So we're going to have a lot of time on to start with in this opening passage of play.
We saw that in a crucial time of the game last night with Greg Stafford.
Yes.
Almost cost them the game.
Hayden Kennedy, the man in charge, is now will be clear for Martin Pike to try and send the Lions forward. Very crowded centre half forward zone as he looks up. We'll get all the matchups with Tony in a little while as it pans out as Pike goes deep towards Carosella. Lenny Hayes, bereft of options. Lappin for Voss. Prominent start for some of the big guns for the Lions. McRae with a hurry kick and goal. What a way to start! Well, they are switched on. Craig McRae with a terrific opening to the evening at the Telstra Dome.
Well, it was a great start, and you could just see in the crunches already. I'm just worried about the body strength of the Brisbane Lions against the younger Saints, but just a number of players. Nigel Lappin, the player who gets under your guard, to Voss, the old guard, and we know Craig McRae, he gets on that trusty left foot, he will convert most of the times inside 50.
Craig McRae with his 200th goal in AFL football, and he was the man that started it. He laid the tackle that forced the ball to come free. That's his strength, tackling inside the forward 50. Simon Black out to Voss already into the game. Long ball to the goal square. Plenty of body work going on. Alistair Lynch now trying to kick a miracle goal, and it comes off Luke Penny. The Lions appealing for out on the full. It's not to be. It'll be a boundary throw-in.
I think Lynchy thought that he kicked the ball onto the foot of Penny, and it went out of bounds on the full.
Ball in, Noble with McDonald. Baker just trying to squeeze it out and find the boundary to relieve some of the pressure.
Just the body strength, I'm really worried. I think Lynch against Swartz or a Penny, and here it is, he kicks the ball. No, it did bounce inside.
Good call by the goal umpire, who signalled to the boundary umpire. McDonald misses it. Noble caught by Power, spills to Ackermanis, quick hands, ends up with McRae for his second. It's just touched on the line by Harvey going back. Already in the clinches and the stoppages, Lions getting first use of the ball.
And some of those matchups that we were pondering down in the Saints attacking zone. Leppich with Rewalt, McGrath with Milne, Bradshaw with Gehrig, Chris Scott alongside of Hamill.
And Johnson on Murray, the youngster who played very well last week.
Wasn't he terrific as Harvey clears the defensive zone, going short, finding power. Saints jumped early in this one with McRae's goal. Now Lawrence. Don't want to be in awe of their opposition. Is climbing high, Brett Voss. Brother off, good start. Black, Harvey, 40 possessions last week. Laying off the handball for Aussie Jones. The springboard from defence. Long to full forward, Milne got to go. Rewalt! Charging out like a bull there. Stephen Milne thought, well, I may have to be the man to go, but then he said no. I can hear Nick coming. And he ducked out of the way in time.
And you just know, Justin Leppich is starting from the square Rewalt here, and he thought his man, his teammate, was going to get in and get the punch. But you can't do that with a player of Ruwalt's ilk. He's just a player who just attacks the ball on all occasions.
40 metres out. Nick Riewoldt goal. Saints get there first. Margin of point. Hope you're enjoying it right around Australia here on Fox Footy.
I just think now that Grant Thomas has said, OK, Nick Riewoldt, go down deep, because across halfback, Leppich, he likes playing against across halfback, gets a lot of help. But on the lead, I think Riewoldt will be too quick for Leppich, although Leppich is quick. And he just showed on that occasion, Leppich does want a lot of help from his teammates. It didn't come on that stage.
It's going to be a good one to look out for across the evening.
Good answering goal from Nick Riewoldt. Noble winning the tap. A bit too strong. It falls for Copeland. Chance for Ackermanis to just bang it forward. In the best spot, though, is Brett Voss. Forced under it by Caracella. Handball astray. Ends up with Harvey, who started well for the Saints. He releases Heath Black. Some space to run into. Forced to kick way out in front of Nick Riewoldt on a huge lead. In the end, it was probably the best option, because now they have a boundary throw in just outside their forward 50.
Harvey and Voss. It looks like Black's going with Harvey. Great matchup in the midfield.
Peckett, Goddard, Maguire and Moyle on the bench for the Saints. 3 Brownlow medals between them. Good hands, Hayes. Riewoldt. Clever football around the front of Milne. Also Gehrig. McGrath. Didn't infringe. Quick hands from Bradshaw to Ashcroft. Power back to Johnson, and this is where the Lions don't waste the football. McGrath needs to kick over the line. Caracella presents. Thinks about Pike and then pops it over his head because he can run into space. He can keep going. He takes a more cautious option, and that is to go back and have a set shot.
Well, Stevie Lawrence unlucky on that occasion there, Matty, because he fell over. Pike, he'd been very good at centre-half forward, kicked a lot of goals last week, had 20 possessions. I think he's just so super confident in his own conversion that he thought on the run it's a bit harder from that angle.
6 goals in the last 2 weeks, filling in at centre-half forward for Jonathan Brown. Can we make it 7? Good call, Tony. That's a goal. Martin Pike with his first, and the ball came from all the way in the goal square, just body to body. They didn't lose possession.
No, it was too easy, wasn't it? McGrath, as we see, comes across the wing. And Caracella playing as a half forward on Voss. Gee, I just think he moves laterally too well for Voss. But we saw Steve Lawrence just fall over. And no doubt, Martin Pike said, hey, it's pretty hard from here on the run. Maybe balance up. It wasn't the greatest kick off the boot, but normally he's a beautiful kick, and he showed it on that occasion.
Entertaining opening from the Telstra Dome. Martin Pike with his opening goal, number 9 for the season. Lions by 7 points. And as you said, that midfield then. Harvey on Black, Hayes on Voss. There's a Fab 4 quartet. Ruckman miss it. Harvey hurries a kick forward. Hamill's got a couple to beat. The bounce important. Chris Scott in front. Does well. Hurries it to the wing. Bounces awkwardly for a couple. Baker had it knocked away. Still going Stephen Baker. Tied up by Copeland. Will have a bounce on the outer wing. Not a bad Saturday night crowd, mid-20,000 ranges. We have a look at Darryl White warming up on the bench.
There's a bit of excitement in the matchup of Chris Scott and Aaron Hamill, isn't there? A bit of white line fever between those two.
It's a nice plug from the bounce. McDonald wins it down. Getting there first is Lawrence. Little handle off to Hayes was good. Hayes towards Hamill. Here he is in a wrestle with Scott. Knocks it away. Burke with courage. Got it onto Murray, the third gamer. 1 for Port, 1 for the Saints. Hamill's kick, you'd be disappointed by that. Black terrific. Now Martin Pike. High ball to half forward. Lynch and Penny. Brett Voss getting back. In the end, perhaps spoiled his teammate Penny, who hacks it off the ground. Hayes with the body contact. Voss. You can't stop him with a train. Lappin on the run from 45. Lynch getting back there. Does he play for the free? Doesn't matter. It's through from behind. The Lions lead is 8 points. Have a look at him again, Tony.
Well, you know one thing, and that is a great lesson for youngsters. If you put your head over the ball, the only thing can happen is you'll get a free kick.
If he ran with the Bulls in Pamplona, I'd fear for the Bulls.
Here's his brother, Brett. Goes backwards to Jones, which is often the option there. Out to Heath Black. Laterally, still haven't gone very far. Back to Brett Voss. Now they've created the loose man. It's Lenny Hayes once again, getting plenty of it. Long ball, looking for Gehrig. Hamill. Hamill is the man over the top of Chris Scott.
He just read it better. I think the body-on-body strength, Aaron Hamill might be a bit stronger, but he just read the ball better. And the one thing about it, they switched the play a couple of times, St Kilda. One-on-one, holding the jumper there. If the umpire was front and centre of that, he would have seen that. But one-on-one, look, it's going to be a battle royale, these two.
Hamill, such a wonderful finisher in front of goal. 14 goals for the season. This one, pretty straightforward for the skipper. And it's 2 goals apiece here on a Saturday night at the Telstra Dome.
Well, we just see the ball into the centre corridor. Lenny Hayes just kicks the ball on. They've got to do that, St Kilda. You can't mess around and let Brisbane get numbers. He just read the ball off the boot a lot better than Chris Scott, his opponent. Did hold the jumper a little bit, but the umpire was in no position to see that. And he's pretty happy with the result, Aaron Hamill.
The skipper of the Saints with his opening goal. Lead for the Lions, 2 points. Skipper of the Lions there, Michael Voss. Noble winning it down. Harvey goes without it. Copeland shovels it in front of Lappin and McRae. Still going Lappin, barrelled by Stevie Mill. Alongside of his great mate in Stephen Baker, and they force a bounce.
Good start by the Saints, because you wouldn't want to be intimidated by the Brisbane Lions. Quick goals early to a 3 or 4 goal lead. So they've matched him in most departments.
Including the ruck, where Noble hasn't been bad. The bounce didn't favour him on that occasion. McDonald got it. Here's Noble, the man in question. Got it for Hayes. Slick little handball for Lawrence. Couldn't control it. McRae with the pressure on him. Now Lappin tied up by Schwarz. May get a bounce out of all this. It's a scramble. Eventually it squirts out. And the Saints will be able to clear 2-on-1. Good spoil though by Ashcroft. Ackermanis yet to get in the game until now. Feeds Luke Power on the run from 49. Power kicks. A wonderful goal. Just so explosive, the Brisbane Lions. We thought St Kilda were going to be away. Ashcroft with the spoil, and Luke Power, underrated by many. A wonderful finisher.
Well, that whole stanza of play, it was a battle, wasn't it? There was a lot of the ball in tight packs, but once it ran free, Ackermanis, just his ability at ground level, and Luke Power on his preferred left foot. Again, they've got so many players, McRae, Power. If you give them opportunity, a little bit of space, they normally make you pay.
Having his best season for the Brisbane Lions, Luke Power.
Well, he's playing as a midfielder now too, Matty, so he needed to do that. As a small forward, it's very hard to be dominant for a whole season.
8 points the margin. This time it's McDonald to Black, who squeezes it to Power, the man who just kicked the goal now in the middle. Pike held on to, but took the mark anyway. And this is well within range for Martin Pike. As you mentioned before, Tony, he does prefer the set shot, and usually 50 metres.
Well, I'm just a bit worried about that matchup with Stevie Lawrence. He's giving away a little bit of height. I know Martin Pike doesn't mark over his head a lot, but he also used his body very well.
From directly in front, gets very close to Lawrence on the mark, and well done to Stephen Lawrence, because he has forced Pike to hook the ball for a behind. So a good lesson there to work the man on the mark. Do everything possible to cause an error. Long ball, looking for Harvey. He's going to drop into his hands beautifully. Carried over the top of McDonald. Murray gets away from Johnson. St Kilda have looked good going inside their 50. Not this time. Bradshaw edges out Gehrig, and there's a push.
Well, we're just going to see whether he used his hands, because if he did only use his body, I thought it was good play. Just more body strength, and again read it well. But if you do use your hands in the contest, well, you're going to be paid a free... Oh, that's fairly soft free kick for mine. Just better judgment in the air, I thought, by Bradshaw.
Gehrig hooks it badly. Just being told there by Martin Park as he wanders past.
3-3, plays 2-1 as Chris Johnson prepares to bring it back into play. Another fine season from him as he targets Lepage from the kick in. He flies at the back. I think it was touched. Play on anyway as Brad Scott corrals it in. Now McGrath from half-back for Lappin, puts him under a bit of pressure. He's equal to the task. Bradshaw, back to McGrath. Look at this run to Michael Voss. He should just go back and drill it. There were a couple of leads on, but Michael Voss will have a look from just a fraction beyond the 50.
I think it shows the confidence of the Lions when you see Pike and now you see Voss. They just settle down. There's nothing on. They look quickly over the mark. If nothing's on, go back, have confidence in your own ability. Gives your teammates a lot of confidence also.
And a nice feed from the youngster Ashley McGrath. Now Voss's kick, a bit of a helicopter. Oh, is that paid to McDonald? It is! Bo McDonald, standing tall in the goal square, caught the Saints napping, and just about everyone in the building. We all thought it's Michael Voss. It's going through the middle, but credit Bo McDonald there, put the big mid up, and now, despite a tight angle, should be able to convert.
You're right, it did catch everybody by surprise. A bit of a helicopter off the boot. Grant Thomas wouldn't be happy with that. It's hard enough to stay in the game against the Brisbane Lions and the ruckman pushing forward and sneaking a goal.
Yet to kick a goal this year by McDonald, until now. Lions have got their fourth. Just 16 minutes into this match, and already 6 goals on the board. That youngster, not sure that they've kicked a goal, but he's dressed for the occasion.
Yeah, Grant Thomas, as I said, wouldn't be happy. Here's the kick again. Yeah, it wasn't one of Michael Voss's best kicks. Dropped short, and Noble did fairly well. He was halfway in front position, but had to get a fist to punch it through for a point. As I said, Grant Thomas, it's going to be hard enough to contain Brisbane Lions, let alone their ruckman pushing forward.
Yeah.
4-3 to 2-1. Umpire Hayden Kennedy to restart play. McDonald certainly enjoys kicking goals. It's been a long time for him. Almost halfway through this first quarter, Hayes been everywhere so far. Out comes Hamill. Lepic almost steals it from him, then just kicks it towards the boundary line, and it makes it.
We talk about matchups too. Corey McGrath has got Stevie Milne, and I was just wondering whether Grant Thomas might play still Stevie Milne closer to the goal square, put a lot of pressure on the youngster from Brisbane.
Just outside the St Kilda 50, Noble, that is a good knock to Powell. Interesting handball, comes to Hayes, possession number 8. Long ball, Rewalt, not to be, Johnson, good tackle by Murray. Held to him, no prior opportunity. What a game for Alan Murray last weekend. 4 goals in his first game for the club. Super tackle, probably just tackled him a bit too early.
If he kept that arm and it didn't go to the ground, it would have been holding the ball, no doubt.
Rewalt, he may get a free kick, no, that's an advantage paid as Johnson got it off to Ashcroft. And the veteran runs outside his 50, long kick, going back. Hamill, not paid. Pike over the top of it, also with him, Stephen Lawrence.
You just see Aaron Hamill come up that pack then, Matty. Got a knee in the back, but gee, that's the reason he's captain. Have a look at this.
It's just great, isn't it?
Well, that's why you make him captain, and that's why I think he should remain captain, but that's only my view.
Oh, it's not just yours, Tony. I think there's a few of us that agree with you.
Okay.
Hayes, another touch, this time a handball for Milne. Grubbers a kick near the boundary line. Murray from behind in the back. Brisbane line free. Local folks not happy. Alan Murray ducks away to pick up his man. The ball will come back to McGrath. 8:52 remaining, opening term. Lions 14 points in front. As we have a look at it again, Ashcroft, the man ridden into the ground. McGrath, defensive side, outer wing. Eyeball to a contest. Pike in a wrestle. Bounced off his chest in the end under some pressure. Harvey takes it from Black. Hurries it to the wing. It will land in a little bit of space. Ashcroft tracking it back. Charging through Murray and Johnson. Well, Akamanis hacks it away from the fingertips of Powell. Hayes going without it. This is a real dogfight, isn't it? And Milne does well. Gains 30 metres, finds the line for a boundary throw-in. As we await the boundary throw-in, let's check in boundary side with Mark Doran.
Clinton, Jamie Charman's just come on for the Lions, and you can see Matt Maguire now warming up for the Saints. He'll be the number 2 ruckman with Trent Noble tonight.
Charman immediately involved, got rid of Noble, but Black Sharks it finds Milne. His kick not good, but Johnson couldn't clasp it. Opens the door. Murray, not a good one for Gehrig. Man in front, Chris Scott, couldn't control it. Gehrig to Clark, 50 out. Little hand pass on. Powell under pressure, gone. Play on the call. Clark couldn't get boot to ball. Brisbane Lions will win another free kick. It's desperate times here midway in this opening term.
And they're quick to move it on. Carousel of the handball out to Scott, forced to kick with the left. Maybe a bit fortunate, it falls from McRae. He will try and get on to that left boot pretty quickly. He can go to Brad Scott, who's on the wing, all on his own. In support, Nigel Lappin. Back to Scott. Players lining up through the middle. Carousella seems to be enjoying playing with the Lions now as Ackermanis drives it towards Pike once again. Maguire caught by Lynch. We'll have a ball up here in the forward pocket for Brisbane.
Well, you look to early trends in the game, and I just see Martin Pike as going to be too good for Stevie Lawrence. I don't know, Brett Voss has been off the ground, was taken off early in the first quarter. Maybe his body strength and a bit more height might help in that area.
St Kilda getting most of their ball through the middle, but possessions are even between the two teams. Black to Burke. Smothered. Goddard's under the pump, but the youngster's equal to it and drives it long into open space. No one to kick to. He wants the boundary line and a good kick by Brendan Goddard. Nathan Burke, a little bit worse for wear after that contest. 27 plays 13 with just under 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter. For the halfway mark of the season, round 11. Here's Lenny Hayes once again from the clearance. Rewalt forced over the line. Take a look back to Nathan Burke as Robbie Copeland came through and collected him. Matt Maguire in the ruck now with Charman. Goddard, good hands to Harvey. Likewise, Lawrence spots up Rewalt. Saints open forward 50. Gehrig on the long lead. Bradshaw with him, but it comes now. Here's the artful dodger. Milne slipped it over to Gehrig. It turned to Alan Murray. Runs into an open goal and kicks it. Good work by the Saints. Some of their big guns combining. Tony, some of the times when Hayes gets it at the clearances and the stoppages to set things up. They go back to go forward.
Well, Lenny Hayes and Robert Harvey, they're having the better at the moment of the midfield against Black and Voss, although Voss has gone to the forward line. And trouble for Brisbane Lions. Bradshaw, who's at full forward against Gehrig, and I think a bit slow, looks like he's coming off the field with an ankle injury at the moment.
Not good news for the Brisbane Lions. Daniel Bradshaw getting some work done. We'll get Mark Doran to check it out shortly. Meanwhile, Brett Voss is picking up Michael Voss.
There's another change too. Lepage has gone to Hamill. Chris Scott's gone to Rewalt.
Back to an 8-point game. Maguire got a hand to it. Black's handball ineffective. Saints with some momentum now about them. Murray to centre half forward. Lepage without it. Barging through, Maguire's tied up. A bounce 55 out from the St Kilda goal. I wonder who Mum's barracking for. Brett played 35 games with Brisbane between 97 and 2000. Now he's a Saint. And they're attacking here. Charman won it down. There's some holding. It's a Brisbane free kick. 5-1, the free kick count in Brisbane's favour.
Maguire into the ruck now for the Saints, so he's giving away a lot of height. That's the reason for that free kick.
Charman lays it off for Brad Scott. Long ball towards the outer wing. Getting in front, Carousella. Black goes without it. Shoveling it forward, Copeland. That's a wonderful mark by McRae. Travelled barely the required 15 metres. Long ball, Michael Voss has good positioning. He takes the mark and will line it up from 45.
As soon as you mentioned that matchup, Clinton, I think Lee Matthews was listening because he pushed Michael Voss back to the square against his brother Brett, and misjudgment here. Had to get the fist. He didn't miss by a lot, but it was just because Michael Voss had better positioning in his preparation.
And he knows the quality of the player behind him. He's got to go very hard.
And now Voss sends this one right through the middle. by 14 points. Been a big week for him. Birth of their third child this week. Baby daughter Gemma, born early in the week, and now Michael's celebrating here against his brother, no less.
Well, I know Grant Thomas might be asking Brett Voss just to go. The mentality of it I'm a bit worried about. You know, if you've got a dominant, not brother, but someone who's been so powerful in the game and still at his best, big ask for a kid who's still struggling in the game to stop him. So he's asking two things of him: the relationship and then also the ability, which might be beyond Brett Voss.
So who do you put on him back there? We might get you to have a bit of a think about it.
Yep, no doubt. I'll have a look.
Margin back out to 14 points. They're isolating Brett Voss in the goal square there. Pickett. Ackermanis ran into a wall of Saints players and then gave it up to Clark. In turn, quick hands to Harvey. Rewalt, got it. Good work by Xavier Clark in the centre square. And Rewalt will take a shot on goal. He already has one. Just playing in front.
He's going to worry everybody on the lead tonight, Matty. And that mark was harder than everybody thinks because Leppich came across him and he might have lost the vision for 1 second.
Wonderful view of what confronts Nick Rewalt, lining up for his second. Get the Saints back within 8 points. Needs it to curl back, and it does. He has two. Well done, Nick Rewalt. Saints keeping with the premiers at the moment in a very entertaining first quarter. We've already seen 9 goals. Great signs for St Kilda. They don't look intimidated at all. And the thing about the midfield that we said, and that's a good mark. That is a good mark because Leppich coming across his vision. But Hayes and Harvey have dominated out of the centre bounces. And as you can see, Leppich there nearly got his finger into it, but you've got to keep your eye on the ball, and it takes a bit of courage also.
End result, a second goal for Rewalt. Before the bounce, let's head back downstairs. Mark Doran with an injury update.
There you can see the look on Daniel Bradshaw's face, and that ice pack on his ankle says it all. We've seen the end of him for the night. He had tape on the ankle cut off the minute he came off, and then the doctor shook his head, so there's some structural damage there.
Lions by 8 points. One down by Charman to Carosella. Oh, that was creative to Charman. Towards Lynch, charging out after it. Penny on his hammer. Good tackle. Lynch gets the hand pass away. Voss on Voss again. Michael in front, couldn't drag it down. Aussie Jones with the support. Delivers a magnificent ball to Murray on the wing. Still awaiting, Tony, you to tell me who would you rather on Voss if they're going to isolate him as Murray goes short. Lenny Hayes having a stunning opening turn, 10 possessions already. There'll be no 50 there despite the crowd's urgings. Lenny Hayes. Possession number 11 coming up. 30 against the Hawks last week. Runner-up in the best and fairest at the club last year. Hamill, one grab, not the second. Boundary throwing.
Well, they've got Nathan Burke and Troy Swartz.
Another look at the contact there.
You've got Troy Swartz on the bench and you've got Burke on the bench. Now, both of them more experienced than I'd say Brett, although I'd say Burke more experienced, but he'd be giving away a bit of body strength. I'd go with Burke for about 5 or 10 minutes.
Copeland a high ball to the wing. Power in a wrestle with Moyle. Lions have got numbers here. Can't control it. Moyle does well. To Maguire. To Black. Steadies. To Milne and Gehrig. Milne one grab. Keeps his footing. Snaps hurriedly. Bounce through, says Stevie. And it does!
Free kick.
It's coming back.
Yeah, the umpire said that Milne pulled his opponent away before he won the contest.
Unlucky there for St Kilda. And now the crowd give it to Hayden Kennedy, the man in white. There's a look at it again. Did he have a hold of the jumper?
Yes, he did. Not much in it though, Clinton.
Enough to call it?
Well, you have to if you see it, the umpire, the jumper come away from the body.
The crowd tell you their answer. Brisbane 6 free kicks to St Kilda 1. I think you have to pay that.
Well, you do. As soon as you see that, yes, you have to. Although he had better positioning, but the umpire has to pay it once the jumper comes off the body.
Saints attacking half as Maguire. Risky to take it from the boundary throw in. Pickett, no chance to get rid of it. Will have a bounce. 2.5 minutes remaining. Heats on this game with Brisbane leading by 8 points.
The only thing about Brett Voss and Michael Voss too, Clinton, is that Grant might be thinking that Grant Thomas that they are now in the game and it's not far, it's not been blown apart, so just go with that matchup until it does become a problem.
Well, Voss has gone back on the ball. Harvey's still getting plenty of it. Hayes gave it away. Copeland in the way. McRae, that's not his strength normally, doesn't take many overhead marks. That is a good one. It's been a good opening quarter from Craig McRae. Poor kick, touched off hands. Out of bounds. Inside the last 2 minutes of the first quarter, it's the Lions by 8 points. Daniel Bradshaw, the makeshift full-back with the injury to Mal Michael, and now he's out of the game as well. Third man in line is Darryl White. Grant Thomas and Dean Wallace looking fairly pensive there at the moment. Charman's at the bottom of that pack. Going nowhere. Lenny Hayes with 12 disposals and Robert Harvey with 9.
It's been a great quarter for their midfield.
Maguire and Charman. Harvey almost. Black. Forward handball. Pike. Similar. Back there was Lawrence. Lappin. Smother. St Kilda have got some numbers here though. Hayes is everywhere. Jones. To Murray. Into his back. Or over the shoulder, the umpire paid it. St Kilda fans ecstatic at getting another free kick. It's been good so far, Murray, and Stephen Milne has slipped. McGrath, Ackermanis over the top, play on the call. McGrath now has got a tackle on Jones. Milne always keeps his feet. So dangerous at getting past and lays it off. And I thought for a second he was going to get there, but the spoil came. Harvey appeared to be in the right spot, but Ashcroft put a fist in.
Stevie Milne, Ackermanis having a go there. I'd like to see Stevie Milne closer to the goal against McGrath. So creative. He's playing now as a half-forward wingman for the Saints.
Inside the last minute is Lappin with the second tap forward. Black, high ball, here's Rewalt. Scott, over the top came White. Brett Voss in the right spot. Back to Murray, for goal number 2 to Murray, right before quarter time. Yes, indeed. Saints get it back to within 2 points. Murray and Rewalt, 2 dangerous forwards, 2 goals each.
Well, great stuff by the youngster. You think after having such a big game last week that he's due for a downer maybe, but he's so talented, and he kicked that off 2 steps from 45, 46 metres with a bit of pressure around him. You know that he's got the skills to play at this level, and that was pretty smart play. But just the conversion, you can see he's pretty confident. 1-2, had a look, and he's pretty happy with that. He's had a good start to this game again after a great game last week.
And so have the Saints. Matthew Campbell said the Saints would be in front at quarter time, or they're 2 points adrift with half a minute to turn it around. Chris Johnson's having some friendly words in the ear of Alan Murray. Maguire wins it down. They might be in front, Matty. They've got a free kick, they've given it away.
Still time, Clinton.
Power to half forward for Caracella. Takes the mark. Too far out to score. Pike on one lead to the boundary line. That's ignored. 10 seconds to go. High ball. Time for a mark. Lynch or Pike. Charman was there. Pike, handball. McRae started with a goal. Wonderful tackle by Baker. That saved them. And the fans are into this game, and why not? What an entertaining opening term at the Telstra Dome. Saturday night footy. It's a beauty. Lions leading it by 2 points at quarter time. 5-3-33 to the Saints. 5-1-31. Stay with us. A big night coming up.
Thomas Clinton, he spent most of that time, or his speech, just reassuring the players that they are good enough to beat the Lions. Had all the stats to show it. The key indicators showed that St Kilda were in front. Said clean ball was the only thing letting them down. If they can win a bit more clean ball, use it a little bit smarter, they can beat the Lions. Positive reassurance was certainly the message at quarter time.
Thanks for that, Mark. The Lions have actually won the last 8 meetings between these two clubs. St Kilda haven't beaten them since their grand final year back in '97. In the 4th qualifying final. So some reassuring words for them. They're down 2 points as we get this second term underway. The ruckmen cross out one another there. Powell's high kick forward, an awkward one for Copeland. Burton clever. Knocked it in front of Power. Foot race. Black pursuing him. Handball over the shoulder for Harvey. Gives it off for Ozzie Jones. On the run. Circa 97. Not the finisher back then. Out of bounds on the full. It was set up for Ozzie on the run.
Not a great return for a great build-up.
Yes.
Fantastic play by Nathan Burke. Just shows it doesn't matter how old you are or people say that you're past your best. Just the footy brains that tap that ball in the path of his teammate.
Justin Lepage to bring it back into play. We saw Ackermanis starting his second term on the bench for the Lions. To a contest, knocked on by the Lions. Harvey bumped off it by Brad Scott. Loose ball at midfield, McRae and Power. Power, well done. Lappin though, couldn't get to it. Hayes, well, just keeps racking them up. Number 14. Lawrence, not a good one. Lions still a chance. Power slips. Handball deflected away. Hot footy to win here. Lappin hovering over it. Tied up. A bounce half forward for the Lions.
I think Lenny Hayes is going through one of those spells, Matty. I don't know if you ever had it, where sometimes you can go where the ball shouldn't be, but you still get it.
No, I never had one, Tony. But it's nice of you to think of me as Luke Power knocks it forward.
I thought I'd bring you back into the conversation.
Yes, no, it was at training one night when I was out by myself. Here's Carosella leading in the race for the ball. Doesn't get a good bounce. Lovely tackle by Milne, but Carosella just got a boot to it. McGrath over the top, be pinged for holding the ball here, certainly. Dived on the ball, and umpire Justin Schmidt in perfect position to make that decision. And Milne's away. No, it's got to go back over the mark.
Yeah, good decision. Hopefully they're consistent tonight now. Whenever someone dives on the ball, they've got to pay a free kick if they can't get it out.
Everyone's manned up from here, so it's a one-on-one contest. Hamill with strength. Scott the spoiled. Black. Now there'll be a free kick over the shoulder to Hamill. Against Chris Scott. Gehrig leads for him. In the right spot. Oh, gee, had a real go at it. Roving beautifully, Baker gives off to Burke, off one step. Well, they've missed another opportunity twice in this quarter. They should have found themselves in front.
Yes, you don't get a lot of chances against the Lions. Must take them. Johnson. And Chris Scott peeling off very quickly. Spies him on half back. A point the difference. Saturday night footy. Good to have you with us around Australia as Scott goes for Shattuck defensive side outer wing. He'll square it up for Darryl White, who started on the bench. Good fluid movement here. Now Lepage through the middle. Just great to watch. And the delivery for Lynch. Put him under pressure. Michael Voss. Black with pressure. That was Black of St Kilda. Now Black of the Lions throwing it out. Saints with numbers back there. Lawrence for Goddard. Has to drive it long. Brent Voss. Good mark. That will do his confidence the world of good. Sharing a field with his brother. Finds Hamill at half forward. Too far out to score. Waits. Goes short. Harvey won't get there. Not a good kick. Black. To a one-on-one on the outer wing. Getting back there. Goddard knocks it down for Clark. Back for Goddard. Back for Clark. Good build up this. Goes to Powell at half forward. Had a step on White. And finds him. Saints not taking a backward step. Gehrig is short. And now Fraser Gehrig will line up for his opening goal to try and give St Kilda their first lead for the night.
Well, the Saints should be ahead before this, but now hopefully they will be on the scoreboard because they deserve it. And they are just totally on top of the Brisbane Lions in the middle of the ground. Also, the Brisbane Lions, their key forwards, need to take some marks in their forward 50 because it is rebounding too quickly, I would say, for Lee Matthews' liking.
They've now had 25 more uses of the ball, so they're dominating early in the second term. And Fraser Gehrig puts them in front. St Kilda, with the last 3 goals of the match, have turned a 14-point deficit into a 5-point lead here on Fox Footy.
Well, the other thing is too, a couple of stanzas of play before the set up to that goal, the youngster Brendan Goddard kicked out of defence, a 45-metre pass, never even looked like missing the target, and also intercepting, showing some courage. So their build-up to this quarter has been very good. They've started in front of Brisbane Lions, and they deserve this lead at this stage of the game.
Been a while for the Lions, not so the Saints, who are in front here at the Telstra Dome for the first time. As Jared Brennan prepares to come onto the ground. McDonald with the knock. Harvey read it best. Managed to squeeze it out. Carousella looks up, doesn't get any support. Got it from White, and they'd run forward. Voss, too much on the kick. Steve Lawrence reads it the best, but gets an unkind bounce. He'd read that well, Lawrence. He'd read that the kick was going over Lynch's head, and he may have thought he'd clean up. Such is the bounce of the oval ball.
They're just off their game. You don't know whether it's just the mentality of the Brisbane Lions or the pressure of the Saints at the moment. Michael Voss normally doesn't miss a target like that by that amount.
Especially with that, he had so much space.
Yep.
McDonald, no one over the back for him except Brett Voss. Caught by Power. Relieving handball is good though to Burke. Bangs it long. Rewald is coming. Johnson goes back. Doesn't mark. He doesn't take it cleanly. Burke does. Got to have clean hands. Hayes. Beautiful kick out in front of Hamill, who marks right on the apex of the 50-metre line. Garrick in the square, wants it long. He's the target. Going back, Robert Copeland with the mark. And we had a good first quarter, as we saw at quarter time, 6 disposals. Needs to have plenty on the kick here. Johnson over Hamill, back to Chris Scott. They stay up the line, but once again, it's the Saints reading the best. Brett Voss enjoying this game.
Got the answers for the time being, St Kilda. Voss will go wide for Goddard. Close to the boundary line. Now the important ball. Rewalt the target. The young gun's hooking up. Rewalt couldn't hang on. Still a chance. Noble, wonderful pickup. Equally good tackle from the Lions. Burke brought down by Ashcroft. Plenty of experience there. Will have a bounce.
The second of the ball. The Lions are second of the ball tonight. As I said, off their game. Aaron Hamill just dominated across half forward.
Rewald questioning the umpire. How much purchase did I have? Hayden Kennedy said not enough. McDonald wins it down. Harvey breaks through. Handball. Milne. Sneaky. Slippery. Goal! Saints are in the match. 20th goal for the year for Stephen Milne. They've now got the last 4 of the night. Yeah, get excited. They lead by 11 points.
Well, again, it came from a stop play, and this is where they've dominated the game so far, St Kilda. Unlike the Brisbane Lions, Bo McDonald hands, Harvey read it well, and that's what Stevie Milne does, the best in the competition. I think he's the best small forward in the competition, along with Phil Matera.
You don't need to give the Artful Dodger many opportunities, and well, we thought this might happen earlier in the game. Brennan has gone to Rewalt. They played at each other in a practice game before the season started, after Rewalt was dominating on Lepich, and Brennan did a reasonable job. McDonald down for the Lions as the Saints surge forward once again. They've got the last 4, they're looking for 5. Milne and McGrath, the spoil, but Milne once again, always first to recover, gets free, gets past Lepich, kick the goal, Milne doesn't hook it back enough. 3 Lions in the goal square, and they can raffle it, and McDonald's still down in the centre of the ground. Voss into some space. St Kilda lead by 11 points. Poor kick again from the skipper. Found his brother in Brett.
Well, McDonald's down because Trent Noble gave him one of the best knees to the stomach you'll ever get, and he has not moved. They had to do something here, the Lions, either bring the stretcher out just to stop the flow of play.
Powell switches wide to Jones. Xavier Clark all on his own. He's at the 50-metre line. He can play on. He can kick the goal. Will this be 5 in a row for the Saints? Clark across the face. McDonald coming off, but he's jogging off, so that's a good sign for him. Mark Doran on the boundary.
Yeah, you're right, Matty. He does look a little bit better than he did as he comes off and Charman comes on. The knee just into the midriff. Doesn't look like too much damage. But speaking of that, we'll have some news on a major story that's developed from last night's match with Lee Colbert at half-time.
Another look at it there. The knee to the rib cage. Ouch. Had the wind knocked out of him. No question about that. As the ball's brought into Chris Scott of the Brisbane Lions. 2 goals to lead for St Kilda. The Lions scoreless in this opening 10 minutes of the second term as McDonald just gets some work down there, checking the ribs. Scott went to Ashcroft. Gee, risky ball. A little bit flirtatious to Darryl White. Saints' confidence growing with every minute, you sense. White to Charman. And is he being paid the mark? High tackle will take a resultant free kick. Noble stepping up against his former club. He's eager to get involved. Charman just chips it over the top. Anxious half a second for Copeland. Now drives it long to full forward. Lions need someone here. Pike coming out. Couldn't drag it down. Lawrence without it. Powell. Handball's in front of Nathan Burke. It sits for the veteran. And he's away to Rewalt. Wonderful disposal. Rewalt long to Hamill. One out with Lepage. Good contest. And he takes it over the line for a boundary throw in, and they want to go on with it. There's no free kick. We'll have a boundary throw in.
Well, that's the matchup has changed. Lepage has now gone to Hamill, mainly because Chris Scott, Hamill was too good in the early part of the second quarter.
In from the side, Rewalt gains 20 metres. 25 as it rolls over. Not quite for a boundary throw in. Lepage from full back. Goes short, targets Chris Johnson. Gee, that's not a good finish. Harvey out in front of Milne, under pressure. Bounces past a couple. Darryl White with the pickup. Good ball for Power. Defensive side of the wing. Power on a bounce. What's his disposal like towards Black? Well, he's picked out a couple of Saints there as well. Free kick should be the Brisbane Lions way. Taking it McRae. Long ball to full forward. Getting back, roving. Alistair Lynch slips. Burke's got him! Holding the ball!
Well, Goddard spilled it. Now, will it come back? Yes, it will for Saints fans. No?
Well,
Yes, it is finally.
Alistair Lynch, gee, looked horribly slow.
Well, normally you'd expect him to go back.
It should have been a handball to Voss, who was waiting for it.
Yep. He was in the right spot, front and square. Here we go
Surprised
again.
to see Alistair Lynch sit down in a couple of seconds.
Untidy handball, but Black gives it back to Lawrence. Swings it round the body, an intelligent kick to Ozzie Jones. He could have picked a couple there. Hamill, long lead. Too much pace for Lepage. And we've got another boundary throw-in with St Kilda 7-3 to the Lions 5-3. Two straight kicks. Plenty of possessions for the Saints at the moment. They are running harder and they're winning from the stoppages that are enabling their players to run forward into some space. Power gave it to Carosella, back to Lepage. High ball, tough one to mark. Black, fumble. Copeland, too much on the handball. Baker, Clark, good in close. To Black, to Powell. Now here's Harvey all on his own. In the middle of the ground. Can he get it to Gehrig? Low ball. No, he's got Rewalt in front of him. Kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, Nick Rewalt. And 2 marks since Jared Brennan has gone onto it.
It's all coming, it's all rebounding from the Brisbane Lions forward line. They have not had a keeper forward who could mark the ball. Pikes look dangerous, but Alistair Lynch has not got near the ball. I'd try someone with a bit more speed or a bit more pace out of the square. Maybe Akamana's come on the ground and go to the square, Lynch off.
Rewalt for number 3. And it's exactly that. And the Saints lead by 3 goals. To 5-3, and the rising star continues to rise.
Well, Lee Matthews running out of options for key defenders at the moment because Rewalt's on top of his form. Hamill dominated again this second quarter. Milne's been dangerous, and Gehrig, he's been on the lead but hasn't received a lot of the ball himself, so they've got 4 dangerous forwards at the one time, St Kilda.
Nearly time to believe for the Saints. 3 goals their lead. They've kicked the last 5. We're midway in the second term. Charman and Noble. Noble got his hand to it. Power the clearance. Baker in front. Penny gives it to him. Now for Lawrence. Slips. Oh, but had so much time. Some grace under pressure there. Penny for Black. Coming up on 9 minutes remaining before half-time. The Lions have not scored this quarter. Remember last week they led Melbourne 59-2. Pickett on the City wing. Hamill's got some work to do to get here. And chopping it off is Carousella for the Lions.
That last centre bounce, in the centre bounce for Brisbane, was Power, Carousella and Brett Scott. No Voss, no Black.
Not pretty out of defence either. Under the pressure, Carousella for Brad Scott. Still haven't really cleared the danger zone. Carousella just gets it away. Hoping for the boundary line more than anything. Rewald kept it in. Handball deflected by Brennan to Power. And now the Lions can look to build through Lappin on the outer wing. Down the centre corridor runs Ashcroft. Short pass. Lynch without a kick tonight. Hovering over it. Still can't get it. Simon Black is tied up. Besieged, probably a better word. Saints are desperate. Ackermanis has got Hayes. Will have a bounce.
Alistair Lynch now playing at centre half forward and again at ground level.
Phone's off the hook in the Lions coach's box. Now, who will get the break here? Noble. You see his confidence rising. Voss. Caught. Got the hand pass away. Now a chance. McRae. Towards Pike and Lawrence. Pike, good use of the play. And he'll have a shot at goal unless he decides to go short, which he does. And Lappin in a better position will kick the Lions' opening score of this second term.
Well, you've got to give credit to Stevie Lawrence. I think he's controlled Pike, although again Pike's looked dangerous. I don't know whether the Saints are on top of the game. All right, lead that match up, but make sure when the game turns that you look at it, because it is a problem.
Nigel Lappin, the view from behind him. It's not a good kick. Getting back, almost Chris Scott. Not quite. We'll have a boundary throw in, and Baker and Chris Scott, neither of those two take a backward step. Well, at some point you anticipate the umpire might intervene, but
let
not
it go.
while the boys are just having a bit of fun.
Throw it in and get on with it.
McDonald back on the ground. Noble went without it. Chris Scott decided to continue and has given away a free kick. And now they're happy. Saints want to be careful here. They have the footy. No need to give it up.
Oh.
And they've got 50, so they've managed to work it. Stevie Lawrence and Brett Voss, old teammates, just getting reacquainted. And Stevie Lawrence wins the battle.
Well, you don't often say this, but the Brisbane Lions are bordering on being rattled here. You don't like seeing that.
Scott twins involved. And they're away now. Xavier Clark, long ball, Rewalt the target. Over the back, here's Milne or Murray to Goddard. Now Milne gets it. He is impossible to tackle at times. High ball, Pike at the other end of the ground takes a saving mark for the Lions, who still haven't scored, courtesy of that bad kick from Lappin. Pike just short to White. Now Lepic finds himself in some space. Still space. Hamill still going. No one to kick to Lepic. And that is untidy. Carousella. Rewald chases, does enough. Great work by St.Kilda. Terrific pressure, terrific chasing, hassling, harassing. And the Lions had nowhere to go.
Well, again, Manny, great pressure by the forwards at St Kilda, but Brisbane Lions need a half-forward line. They have got no one to kick to. Might be a time for one of the Reston ruckmen like a Sharman or McDonald, both on the ground at the one time, go to centre half-forward.
Baker will get a free kick. So Baker has it now, quickly plays on. Lenny Hayes, quieter in the second term, but it doesn't really matter. Same with Murray, because the Saints are doing nicely. Alan Murray.
Voss.
Brett Voss over the back. It's forced for Brennan. Got out of the tackle somehow. Brad Scott. Good pressure once again from the Saints to Black. Again a missed target from the Lions. And that's coming from the pressure of the Saints.
Yeah, you could almost ask, who are these guys wearing the Brisbane Lions jumpers? It's not what we're used to seeing. Missing targets. Look at that from Lawrence and Johnson. That's what's great about this game, Tony. You're loving it, aren't you?
Well, Lawrence hit his head twice in a head clash, and then when he whiplashed the ground, but still got up. They're on top of the Saints.
Goddard to Jones. Can he break clear? No. Ackermanis. Oh, they've got the fumbles tonight. High tackle. They'll get away with a free. 3 goals. The St Kilda lead. Brisbane still looking to score this quarter. Will they get a mark here, Lynch? Penny the spoil. McRae overruns it. Simon Black, the Brownlow medalist, to lift them. Not quite. First score of the quarter. Took 21 minutes for Brisbane.
Baker and Black going at it there. He's an angry Ant Baker.
Doing the job. Penny. Told the play on, and is forced to kick to the wing, and it suits Carosella, who is the leading possession winner for the Lions with number 13. Ashcroft, Lappin, missed the target once again. Jones, forced out of bounds by Ackermanis. But time and time again, we've seen the Lions come through that centre square, drop the ball at their teammates' feet or along the ground.
Well, that time, Matty Ackermanis didn't know he was the target. Had his back to the ball, so they
no
had enormous pressure.
Confidence to go on. McDonald misses it. Simon Black, hit and hope really. Harvey, not so. Clark cleverly keeps it in. Bouncing handball from Jones. Play on the call. That's not a mark for Power. Powell in there as well, and they break free, the Saints. Baker provides an option, drives it long, one-on-one contest. McGrath the spoil. Rewalt comes out, crashes through Carosella. Carosella does well, second effort is good, gave it to McRae.
He hurries the ball towards half forward, but Penny's going to lead Lynch in the race for it. And under pressure from Chris Scott. As well, Chris Scott to force a boundary throw in. And has words with Penny. Is that Chris Scott playing his best footy when he's this fired up, Tony, or not?
No, I think he's lost the plot, got involved before in something that you've got to stay away from. But yeah, it looks like they've lost the plot the last 5 minutes of Scott Brothers.
Clark, evading tackles with ease. For Harvey, for Rewalt and Brennan. Nick Rewalt, mark number 6, to Hamill. This Saints team looking good. Now, Hamill to drive it deep to the hot spot at the top of the square. Gehrig the target, he's in front. Good spoil, White. Roving Powell, onto the left. 6 in a row for the Saints. We did not see this coming. St Kilda's lead is out to 23 points. Stephen Powell getting his first.
Well, the difference in the build-up, 2 key forwards having an impact. Nick Rewalt, Aaron Hamill, and then kick the ball to the top of the square, and your crummers. The Brisbane Lions are just worried about kicking the ball in their 50 line at the moment, let alone getting in there directly.
4-2 to 1 behind. Chris Scott still going on with it. Perhaps he should take a look at the scoreboard at the moment. Michael Voss.
Free kick, they've pinged him for it. St Kilda free in the middle, therefore.
They have lost the plot, undisciplined.
A chance now for Maguire. It's a terrible kick, but it may fall in the right spot for them. Over the back now, White. Good tackle. Here's a chance, Milne. You don't need to give him much room. Oh, he dances around beautifully. And misses. Left, right, left. Which way is he going to go? Here we see the infringement.
Oh, brother on brother.
Wow. What will Mum say? Johnson brings it into Pike. 4 goals St Kilda's lead. If they can prevent Brisbane from kicking 1 before half-time, It'll be one of the quarters that they'll remember for a while, and Brett Voss has won another free for them. He's got Moyle out wide. Could the Saints kick one and make it a 5-goal lead? What's happened, Tony? There's a downfield free, is there?
No, it's on behind play, though. Chris Scott again.
Burke knocking it away. Powell, Pickett. Good tackle, Ackermanis. We'll have a bounce. We'll check in with Mark Doran.
Umpire Hayden Kennedy has done nothing but stand next to Chris Scott and Brett Voss. He's picked out 3 free kicks. He's telling Chris to settle down. I'm not sure what Brett's saying, but he's certainly sucking him in. Now he's being dragged off. Starcevic had been out to him, the Brisbane runner, once, now twice, and he's coming off, and I reckon the Saints fans will give it to him.
Gee, Stevie Lawrence is coming off for the Saints. I think he's had a great second quarter.
A sturdy look from Lee Matthews, grim-faced as we have another bounce, and Chris Scott hears it from the fans here at the Telstra Dome as Shannick replaces him with a tick over 90 seconds to play before half-time.
Well, they've been undisciplined, Clinton, and I tell you, having been coached by Lee Matthews, to lose the plot on the field, he hates that happening in a game.
It's been 4-3 to 1 behind in this second term, and it's not over yet. Harvey for Clark. Xavier Clark feeds the hand pass off. Moyle, great tackling by the Lions there to save the day. Power goes out wide for Ackermanis. Delivers towards half forward. The bounce important here. And where else would it go but St Kilda's way? Voss kick not good out of the full. A minute to go. The Lions are behind this quarter, that's all. Ackermanis for Lappin to full forward. Michael Voss over the top. Goddard. St Kilda's defence standing tall. Burke. Loose man Pickett. We'll have Gehrig on the wing if you can see him. He does now, he goes to him. Gehrig will mark. There's still time for St Kilda on the rebound. Gehrig for Hamill. Has he got it? Yes! Crowd 150, it's not there. We've got 33 seconds. Hamill goes out wide for Gehrig. They will still have time. Gehrig need to mark this ball. Milne or Rewalt. Rewalt! The siren may sound prior to him kicking. He's kicked 3 for the half. The Brisbane Lions with 1 behind only for the quarter. And if Nick Rewalt kicks the goal here, St Kilda will lead by 5 goals against the 2-time reigning champs. Nick Rewalt, who spent much of his younger days growing up in Queensland. It'd bring the house down. Rewalt's kick at goal, not a good one. Anticlimactic. Have they won the behind? I think they may have. We'll wait if the behind will stand. The behind counts and the Saints fans will stand and cheer. One of their more memorable quarters of recent years. And not even the staunchest St Kilda supporting psychic could have predicted this. At half-time, St Kilda lead Brisbane by 25 points. It's 9-5 to 5-4. You better stay with us. Big second half coming out.
Test and didn't come off it very well. He has a problem knee. He had drained a couple of weeks ago before the Carlton game. Perhaps that's playing up in him again. And with Bradshaw out and Voss out, the Lions don't have any options up forward. They usually swing Lepich up forward at this stage of the game. No Mal Michael. So they're down on personnel, but they're down on attitude, which is why the Saints are in front. They've got a better one.
Let's see if that will turn around. Start of the second half. Noble got a hand to it. Harvey back for Noble, the former Lion. Hurries one to half forward out in front of Hamill and Scott. Foot race. Good use of the body there. Pike going to ground. Murray overruns it. Hamill working it near the boundary line. Trying to get it onto Lenny Hayes. High ball. Will stay in. Milne in front. McGrath, good pressure. And Burke. Is he about to get collared? Got the hand pass out. All Lions. Charman under some pressure. Hurries it to the wing. St Kilda though with numbers. Noble paid the mark. Umpire may have been A little presumptuous there with the blow of the whistle.
And the Brisbane Lions have pushed Chris Johnson, the full forward.
Trying to find a spark. Goddard. Hayes. Can't wheel past McRae, so lays it back for Noble. Wobbly kick floating inside 50. Rewalt won't get there. Milne will rove. Can he get it off the ground? He can. It's inaccurate. It's a behind.
Leppich has gone to centre-half forward too, Clinton, so they've changed it around. They're not worried about defence. They're going to try and kick enough goals to win this game, the Lions.
Yes, they've gone short down back, so a height advantage for the Saints as Brennan takes the kick in. Long towards Leppich. Goddard works him under the ball nicely and then finds the boundary line.
Good test for Brendan Goddard. Leppich, you know, gone forward, kicked multiple goals. I think he'd rather be out at centre-half forward. I think we might see Leppich go to the square a few times with Brendan Goddard on him.
No one getting the ruck. Jewell, Lappin with superior pace, breaks now inside 50. Johnson will fly and gives away a free kick just as Carosella was running onto it.
Tell you what, Stevie Lawrence got to take some credit. I thought Martin Pike looked very dangerous early in the game, and again, undisciplined by Chris Johnson in the marking contest.
Umpire in perfect position to spot that. Lawrence just goes laterally to Goddard, and he's got plenty of space to run into. Chip pass over the top to Brett Voss. He goes down the line looking for Rewalt. He's pushed in the back. Jared Brennan just plain as day. Two hands and right in the middle of Nick Rewalt's back, who had a fine first half. Leading goal scorer on the ground. Back to Brett Voss now. Every player in one half of the oval.
Oh,
is that another push?
I thought it was.
Not
no
to be
doubt.
this time. Charman takes the mark.
Well, you can't use your hands in the marking contest. The umpire side onto that. Let's have a look here. Does he use his body or his hand? Well, he used one hand. Look where it's side on, didn't it?
Rewalt, another mark. Saints looking good. Hayes for Jones. Look out, about to be mown down. In fact, it was Black. Hurries it to full forward. And Noble against his former club can try and extend the margin out to 32 points.
Well, Noble has been very noble tonight, hasn't he? The way he stood up for his team against his old club. Very strong. He's pushed forward now against, I think it's Charman, so he's making him pay, and he's not the greatest kick I've ever seen, but hopefully he can convert, because again, the St Kilda side have come out in the third quarter and dominated general play.
He's kicked 3 goals in his life in the AFL. Game number 28 this evening. Lions try to distract him. He kicks from 45. It's true. How sweet it is for Trent Noble. And the Saints get the first of the third quarter, 10-6 to 5-4 here on Fox Footy. If you want to talk about it next week, best place to do it. Monday night, White Line Fever. Tony Shaw will join me with Matthew Lloyd to take your calls.
Well, he's been a very good player. As we said at half-time, he has dominated. He has been competing at centre bounces and also around the ground. Now he's pushing forward. Just see Nick Rewalt there saying, hey, let's keep it up. We're on top here. Don't let the pressure off.
Saints have the last 6 goals. 16 scoring shots tonight. At one stage it was 6-2, or 6-3 I should say. Charman with the second attempt. Clark reading it. Kick out in front of Hayes. Can run onto it. He's got Murray. Uses him. Clever play. Back through the middle. Now Powell has sprung off to the right. Gets it now from Burke. Middle of the ground. Still controlled by St Kilda. That is a poor kick. Pike needs to thread it through and does. McGrath running. Lynch not having his best night. Couldn't take it. Penny did well. They'll get out of here, the Saints. No, McGrath. Oh, in the end, well done by Luke Penny. Third effort. Gave it to Harvey. He can go a long way. Strides out. Kicks towards Rewalt. Spoil came from Brennan. At ground level, Charman's playing in defence because Noble's going forward. Aussie Jones up there as well. Terrific work by Luke Penny. And it's been a long time for the Lions to see two flags waved at their end.
Margin 32 points. Ackermanis to try and clear. To the outer wing, Brett Voss in front. Carousella knocking it away to Lepic. This is better. An open forward line. Good handball too. Lappin can go all the way. On the run from 50. The revival starts here. Lynch with a wonderful mark on the goal line. I fancy it would have gone through anyway, but when you Lynch down on form tonight, you're best to take it and try and kick the goal and get your name in the scorebook.
Just have to look at the angle here. Oh, gee, it was doubtful whether to go for the mark. It was going to be a goal to Lappin, and the angle won't be too bad. He's taking him right now.
This is where, at times, the rules are passed. If you're marking the goal square, you should be put directly in front, top of the goal square.
I agree totally, especially when the ball comes from the centre corridor to the goal square.
Nonetheless, a man of Alistair Lynch's class should be able to kick the goal. Without one tonight, only a matter of 5 metres in it, he's kicked the goal. The Brisbane Lions in the goal-scoring drought. Their first goal since the 25-minute mark of the opening term. We're now 7 minutes into the third quarter, and the lead is 26 points.
I thought the great sign there was Lepic getting involved across half forward. They're falling down all night across that line, and Lepic instigated the ball to Lappin, kicked it long, was going to be a goal, but as you say, when you're not in great form, maybe Alistair Lynch was better taking the mark and getting a goal. At least you get your name in the paper.
Your priority.
Margin back to 26 points. Lynch's first for the evening. Assist to Lappin. Steal by Lynch, really. Scott, forward. Lepic, no mark. Baker in the right spot. Oh, Lenny Hayes, beautifully done. Oh, Powell gave it up and then got it back. Black, this is Heath Black for the Saints. Can swing it wide, untidy, but Hayes has some time just to pop it over the top. Who else but Harvey? Harvey to Haynes, Haynes to Harvey. It's great stuff. Jones playing as a forward on Ackermanis. Player in the middle standing all on his own is Brett Voss, and he can swing it wide to Goddard. Now we know he gets depth on his kicks, keeps it low, wanted Rewalt. Scott couldn't take it. Rewalt's still in the contest. Milne somehow gets it back into the corridor. Here comes Hamill. Black, Simon Black goes back to Copeland. In turn, Scott, under pressure, found his target, Johnson. It was Chris Scott that kicked it to him, because there's Brad Scott. Confident kick, puts him under pressure. Still the Saints trying to make something here. Charman took an age. Lappin, hands free to Copeland, out in front of Power. Hayes approach, Power, lucky bounce from just outside 50, poor kick. Still going though, Simon Black, back to Johnson. Spotted someone over the top, it's Aussie Jones for St Kilda, and they're away. On the turnover, Murray, 15 metres ahead. He can go to Powell around the corner, spots him now. Powell can go over the top to Milne, decides to go into the middle, take the pick left or right. He went for Noble, and it was the wrong option instead.
McGravo not out of the woods yet. Costly advantage, play on, goal, a skipper down, but a goal scored. And the lead is back to 32 points once more. It takes a lot to upset Aaron Hamill as Nathan Burke kicks the Saints 11th.
Well, you can nearly put Aaron Hamill's name on that goal. We can just see here the ball comes free, and look at the tackle here from Hamill, and this is where he hurts himself. That was dropping the ball, play on, advantage paid, and Burke kicks a goal. That is Aaron Hamill's goal, and that's why he's captain of this club.
No doubt about that. One of the best tacklers in the league, certainly in terms of a forward 50-metre arc. 13 touches for Burke. And St Kilda back out by 32 points. Noble going in hard again, this time against Charman. Tied up, Black to get the centre clearance. Johnson pushed off it by Lawrence. Goddard charging out of defence. Murray and Ashcroft on a collision course. Ashcroft wins the footy. Towards half forward, Carousella at full stretch. Under some pressure, Lappin for Simon Black on the boundary. Centering ball, a beauty for Leppich, just a fraction beyond his outstretched fingertip. Right, a boundary throw-in. As we await it, here's Mark Doran.
Graham McDonald's come back out from the rooms looking in a lot worse condition than when he went off, feeling his ribs. The doctors all talking about it as they looked at him there. He might not be coming back. And Michael Voss, well, he hasn't even moved. Not sure what's going on with that.
So they could be potentially 3 men down with Bradshaw as well, as Heath Black near the boundary line decides to keep it in. Finds a 2-on-1. Brisbane with the advantage. Eckermanis awaiting an option. One is short. Good lead. Chris Johnson chopping in Clark. He's paid, well, must have been paid a free kick because it's advantage play on. Hayes to Rewalt. Too far underneath it. Jared Brennan, quick recovery. Needs to be precise here. Backed himself. Look at him run away. Finish not good. Aussie Jones over for a boundary throw-in.
Good move by Grant Thomas. Aussie Jones, Ackermanis. Aussie Jones started on the wing, but now he's taking the forward line, saying, well, you take Ackermanis out of the game, and if I kick a goal, it's a bonus on top of that.
Under 12 minutes remaining in this third quarter. St Kilda continue to win the ball through the middle. Carousella. And we'll have a replay of another boundary throw-in.
Nigel Lappin now is pushed to a half-forward flank. So Johnson, Lappin, Leppich and Lynch all in the forward line for the Brisbane Lions.
50-29. Just continues as Eckermanis gets it through to Carousella. Back to Chris Scott. Johnson, Brad Scott. Sees Murray approaching out in front of Lynch, but Penny does well. Over the shoulder, the free kick. Lynch a long way from goal. Leppich wants it long. Goddard just sits off him. Lynch may go all the way. He has 2. That's a super roost. Saints fans not happy. When are they happy? They're 5 goals up. They're still in control of the game, or 4 goals 2, I should say.
Well, Alison Lynch, Matty, he needs to get the ball on the lead because his ground level play has been very ordinary tonight. That occasion there was a free kick for over the shoulder or holding the jumper outside 50, 51 metres, and great conversion. They're not out of this game, they're sniffing, they're just hanging in there at the moment.
It was a super roost, and he's just about qualifies for super rules. 34 years of age, Alistair Lynch, 26 points. The lead for St Kilda. Not done with. Are the Lions. Knocking it forward, Charman, Clark, well done, Harvey, Hayes, everywhere man at the moment. He'll run away from Charman, deliver towards Milne, getting back there. Chris Scott, good mark. Whoops, uncharacteristic fumble. Hamill, Jones, Milne, what a costly turnover! The costliest turnover of all!
Well, you can't overestimate the captain again. And Chris Scott, oh, the fumble. He was going to kick, no one was on, but Hamill the pressure. Quick handball out. Aussie Jones, smart play again. That's smart football from Aussie Jones and Stevie Milne on the end of it. Aaron Hamill, he's having the impact in this third quarter that his coach would want.
Two goals to Stephen Milne, one in the second and one in the third, and once again the margin back to 32. Noble does well again. Power couldn't break the tackle. Back to Charman. Spirals it out, but the only man there is Xavier Clark. Having a very good third quarter. Beautiful kick to Rewalt. Saints go forward once again. Burke under pressure, still gets his kick. Ashcroft didn't take it. Here's Hamill, the skipper. Not his best effort. Ackermanis is all on his own. Back through the middle. Lappin. Brad Scott. Out wider is Pike. Missed the target. Murray approaches. Over the top to Ashcroft. He's on centre wing with some time. Chris Johnson leads on the angle to the pocket. That's where it goes. Harvey and Hayes, 25 each. We've still got 10, or just under 10 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
You just think, Matty, there's going to be 5 or 10 minutes when St Kilda cannot sustain the pressure that they have for this whole game.
I disagree.
You disagree? Why?
They'll continue on for 4 quarters.
No, you think the pressure they've done the whole game, they can sustain that?
Absolutely.
I think they're going to have their time. They're going to have their time, Brisbane, when they get a lot of the ball. As easy as what they did in that stanza of play, that was the easiest for the night. Might have been just a sign of things to come. Not to say that they win the game. Can they convert when they get their chance?
Well, Johnson, he can. Tight kick and he's got it. Johnson's gone forward, kicked his first goal for the night, and the Lions have managed 3.
I just think in modern day football, every side has their time on the ground, and the longer you have as St Kilda have tonight, totally deserve their lead. Brisbane might have that 5 or 10 minutes now. That's gone from the back pocket from a bad kick from Aaron Hamill to the other end of the ground and conversion from Johnson without St Kilda pressuring. That's what I mean. If they can get 5 more or 10 more minutes like that, they're back in the game.
It's been 3 goals won to 3 goals in this third quarter. The Saints winning the term by a point only after Chris Johnson's first goal of the evening. So the margin back to 26 points. Lions unable to string consecutive goals together this term. Charman winning it down. Power. A foot race now. The bounce might favour Pike in front of Goddard. It does. Wheels around. Forgoes some yardage, but they maintain possession. Brad Scott from Ackermanis with a good ball. Now they're coming. Johnson. Important ball here to be won. Targets Alistair Lynch. He's in front, and he's got it! Now they can string back-to-back goals together.
Well, he's still got to convert, Clinton, but again, that just the lack of pressure, and I know it was just the build-up. Look, they're a very skilled side, and the last two times they've come forward, there's been that lack of pressure on the ball. St Kilda, if you give them 5 or 10 minutes, they will get back into the game. I think St Kilda should hang on and win this game, but gee, they are a good unit, Brisbane.
Lynch shut out in the first half for his third goal of the quarter, drifting across the face of behind only.
Skipper looks on, and he may be doing so for the rest of the evening, I'd say. More news to come on Michael Voss. Hayes. Taking his time. Doesn't want to waste the footy. Trent Noble right on top in the ruck. Charman. Trying to do something about that and get a possession at the other end. Back to Lappin. Sees McRae and gets him. Now, will he wheel quickly? He normally does. From 53, he's got to go land right towards the line. Leppich or Lynch, take your pick. Lynch wants it and he gets it. He's going to be on that tight angle again. Look at him walk on. He's walking directly down the other end of the ground as if he's going to fool the umpire.
Well, he's thinking he marked it in the goal square. The umpire put him on a tight angle. If he marks it on the point post, he might whack him in front.
Oh, it's reverse logic. It works for me. But he is having an effect in this quarter, more importantly.
Just again then to St Kilda, the first time that they held the ball up from running it out of defence.
Yeah, good point. I mean, they've normally been flying it out as Lynch hooks it too far. 2 goals 2 now for Alistair Lynch.
Lazy effort then. I thought he should have run to the mark about 3 or 4 steps and then come out closer to goal, just 2 steps out towards the centre corridor, open the face up.
Nonetheless, they're continuing to press here. The margin 4 goals. Heath Black to gain some metres and then send a thumping ball to the outer wing. Target was Maguire. Copeland putting his body on the line, and we'll have a bounce. Coming up on 7 minutes to play in the third term. St Kilda for the season, as we have a look at Aussie Jones warm-up. 5 wins, 5 losses, playing Port Adelaide at York Park, Launceston next week prior to the break. Brisbane, as we know, comfortably on top. 8 wins, a draw. They've got the Eagles at home next weekend as the Saints win it from the stoppage. Black targets Hamill. Chris Scott from behind, but Hamill in front takes the mark. The doctor out for the Saints with Luke Penny. He's happy to continue. Hamill chipping it backwards to Heath Black. Now crowded forward zone as he looks up. He sees 28 players between he and the goal. So he chips it back to Voss. All but 2 players in St Kilda's attacking half of the ground. Penny not there because he can hardly walk. Voss for Murray. And now we're about to have 36 players in St Kilda's attacking half as Lynch and Penny do peel off. Well, and he kicked into the man on the mark. Carousella could have gone all the way. He doesn't. Rewild up. Roving. Xavier Clark finds an opening. Hurried snap. Misses. Everything out on the full.
Again, the Saints slow in the forward movement. Just got to stick to their game plan. Attacking game plan. That's what's worried Brisbane all night. Especially with the Brisbane defence undermanned.
Ackermanis at the wrong end of the field from a Lions perspective. To a contested half-back in front, Luke Power takes the mark and can look to build the Brisbane attack from here.
You just chip it over to Brad Scott. Eventually. Lions usually go lateral here. They're loath to kick it to a marking contest on the wing. So the chip comes to Simon Black, who is away. On his right boot, finds Leppich. He's getting booed. Lynch on a long lead. Good spoil. Brett Voss. Having an outstanding game is Brett Voss. 10 marks, 16 disposals, and the third man covering left his opponent, Mark Doran, down in the boundary.
Just in the back of that picture was Luke Penny. He's gone. Lynch just got away from him. The Saints are going to have to make a move. No one on the bench that could play full back. They'll have to find someone.
Have to rearrange as Burke tries to. Goes back all the way to Goddard. But Ozzie Jones has just come off the bench. He's going to get a kick straight away. No one to kick to here, Jones, so he'll slow it down. And now, gee, that's a terrible kick. I mean, that doesn't need to be told. I mean, that's just, that tells the story, doesn't it?
For a senior player, and the other thing is the midfield of St Kilda so hard, and they work so hard early, they've stopped running now. They need a full-back. Fraser Gehrig has played a full-back for a fair amount of his career, so he could go there. Hasn't had an impact up forward, so you don't lose anything. Big kick in this game, though, for the Brisbane Lions.
Copeland, only 10 goals in his career, none for the season. As Tony said, an important one, straight through the middle. He's had a good night as well, Copeland. Gets the first goal, margin 18 points.
Well, Ozzie Jones, Luke Penny's coming off the ground, as Mark Doran said, injured his ankle, I would think. But that was a shocking kick by Ozzie Jones, especially when you can play down the line, play percentages as a senior player. Good finish by Copeland. Hasn't had a great impact on this game, but the Brisbane Lions, they're back in it.
His first goal for the season. Copeland's goal, making the margin 18 points. Get to you in a moment, Tony, with what Grant Thomas will do now. Does he go ultra defensive at the minute? Charman wins it down. Oh, Black was pushed in the back for Brisbane, didn't get the free. Hayes wins it for St Kilda, long ball forward. Ackermanis charging out after it. Milne's got him in the back. Let him up, says the umpire. Ackermanis plays for the 50, doesn't get it.
Clinton hasn't been a bad move. Ackermanis played a lot of his football across half-back, but also he can't be tagged there. It's hard to put a defensive man on him.
He goes short for Ashcroft. This game is very much alive now. Brad Scott to full forward. Lynch is lifting. Leppich from the side. Play on the call. Leppich still bullocking his way through. Rugby style, taking several with him. A bounce will be the result. Wouldn't they love another one before three-quarter time? Another look at Milne getting into the back of Jason Ackermanis, no doubt about that. Back to live action. Gehrig winning it down. White building it on. St Kilda with numbers but power. Gets there first. Caught. Got it to Lepic. Running out of room. Handball more out of hope than anything else. Heath Black back there. Has to be precise here. He's not. Oh, it comes off. It comes off. And Gehrig away. Steadies. Kicks to Rewalt. He's got it. Oh, at times a mere millimetre can be all that it takes. Rewalt towards Hamill at half forward, has 2 to beat, including Charman, who's double back and is lifting as well. Ashcroft now for Ackermanis. Dinky little kick for Chris Johnson on the bounce. He takes it, arches the back, runs away, measures a kick. Good spoil by Pickett. Rewalt to full forward. Lawrence or Milne against Chris Scott. Free kick. It will go the way of Brisbane.
Gee, they should have played on. They had 3 numbers. Ashcroft grabbed the ball, gets it back to Scott.
That's why I hesitated, Tony.
Yeah.
I anticipated that it was going to be advantage paid. Free kick was there. They go quickly for Charman. Now for Ackermanis providing some drive. Lions down 3 goals. Surging now though. Brennan stabs the kick to Lynch. Good pick up on the half volley. Not a good finish. It's out on the full.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 78 plays 60. Gehrig now.
Another bad sign for the Saints is that Brisbane now have got 3 men in their defence. They're getting a loose man, and the way that they use the ball, it means they're going to score very quickly in a short amount of time.
Forced to kick it long, gets plenty on it, 60 metres. Rewalt forces the contest, then gets the crumb. Hamill just keeps it going forward. Harvey inside 50, backs himself to get past. Power with the tackle. Harvey's good enough to get it to Murray, who only gets it to the goal square. Good pressure by the Lions defence. And Chris Johnson is standing alone in the square. No one's standing his mark. He refuses to play on just yet. Interesting play. Didn't want to waste the footy. Lappin to Ackermanis. He'll go back through the middle to Brad Scott. Kick to Pike. He needs to get it to bounce and he does it. Here's the turnover. Lawrence.
That's holding the ball. If he paid it earlier.
He pays it again. Oh dear, now we were watching the umpire then, Tony. He began the movement for the arms to spread.
Well, I cannot believe that. Exactly the same thing happened in the first quarter. Pull the ball in, over the top.
Play on, the bounce comes, but it was quite hilarious to watch. And a free kick to the Saints, it's going to Maguire. 40 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Maguire darts away. They'd love one late. Long ball, Milne the target. He's charging after it. Won't get there on the full. Oh, the Brisbane Lions with courage. McGrath, well done. Mark Doran, tell us more.
That was a really courageous effort from Ashley McGrath, because if you look at him now, he's gone. He had some treatment, or he looked to at quarter time. The doctor just came out to him, the left shin. He shouldn't be out there. It's only that he's just trying to get there to three-quarter time. Fantastic effort to spoil Milne.
The most important half minute of the night potentially coming up here. Charman for Brad Scott to the wing. Well read Baker. Can't take the mark. Under pressure, St Kilda. Murray does well. Steadies goes wide. Maguire. St Kilda only to score from here, you'd fancy. Maguire thinks about going back to Goddard. Less than 10 seconds to go. Players unaware of that. Rewalt could mark this. He could mark this and have another shot at goal after the siren. He couldn't do it at half-time. Can he do it now at three-quarter time? You'd almost be so bold to say, Tony, if he kicks it, they couldn't be overhauled.
No, you wouldn't think so. This is against the flow of play. The last 15 minutes, Brisbane been on top.
After the three-quarter time siren, Nick Rewalt blocks the kick, but it does enough! A 4-goal lead! 4 goals for Rewalt. And it may be the goal that breaks the reigning premiers back. Hometown crowd getting behind the Saints. The football world's colliding, and it's the stars of tomorrow tomorrow that are making their presence felt. Some fresh legs to come on. Trent Noble's been pretty good. They actually lead the hit-out count now, 23-21.
Riewoldt with 4. Another opponent, Darryl White this time.
Seen off a few, hasn't he? 4 goals is the St Kilda lead. Half an hour away from springing what most would consider a huge upset. Free kick out of the middle, going to go St Kilda's way. It will come back. Noble, though, is down and maybe out.
He is out.
It has been a taxing weekend in the AFL for injuries.
He is out cold. I mean, his eyes were...
Hit the ground hard on the opening play of the half, of the quarter rather.
He's hit his head on the ground.
Yeah. And I don't think we have to say any more about St Kilda's rucking this year, but the loss of Barry Brooks from their feeder team Springvale this afternoon, and now Noble's injury. Maguire, the man, will come on. Wasn't going to be their number 1 ruckman this season, but he's going to have to be their number 1 ruckman for the remainder of this quarter as the stretcher comes out for Trent Noble, and that just throws a further curveball into the psyche of the respective clubs.
Well, Jamie Sharman also went across the centre line then also before the bounce, so he would have been penalised for that other than the head-high contact.
Let's check in with Mark Doran downstairs while we take this break.
Clinton, Matt Maguire going onto the field now. He'll go into the ruck, and it'll mean probably Nick Riewoldt might have to do some ruck work. I did have a listen to the St Kilda huddle at 3/4 time. If enthusiasm has anything to do with it, they will get over the line. Plenty of voice. They were so excited about the prospect of beating the Lions. Grant Thomas tried to calm things down, just reminding them to stick by the team rules and play the game that they had been playing in the first half.
And Mark, you spoke with Craig Lambert. You told us about Lee Matthews. What about the body language of the Lions players? Do you believe that they know that they can win this game?
Well, I honestly think they did come in here thinking it was going to be a little bit easier than it's ended up being. They love a challenge, and they are a super side, and now they get a chance. This is important, I think. Now they get a chance just to talk there amongst each other. I think they're still very much in this.
All right, Mark, thanks for that. St Kilda just 1 win from 5 starts against teams in the top 8 this season. This match, as we've said constantly, meaning so much for them tonight. And now Matthew Maguire, Tony, the young 19-year-old, is going to replace Trent Noble here in the ruck as you see him go down heavily again. And as Matty said, out cold once he hit the ground, and obviously extreme precaution being taken, getting the stretcher out and getting Noble onto the mobile cart. So we'll head back down to you, Mark.
Well, come back down because oxygen has come out onto the ground to Trent Noble. Gee, you rarely see this sort of thing. Often see that sort of clash where a guy hits his head and is knocked out, but not normally for very long, and to have an oxygen cart taken out, this is really serious stuff, and you can only just cross your fingers and hope that he'll be okay.
Mark, can we just say that I just saw his arms move, which is a great sign for everybody. So
yep. Great.
He is conscious again. I just think Matt Maguire, very fresh coming off the bench. Got a big job to do, Matt Maguire.
And awkward for the players now, Tony. They had a 5-minute break for 3/4 time. This break is going to take 5 minutes. They're going to have almost a half-time break here without the usual stretching and so forth. It's almost important that they keep warm, keep moving around out there because it is a cold night in Melbourne.
And the other thing too, if Lee Matthews was worried about his matchups, Marcus Ashcroft just came off the field and Brennan back on, so they might have seen something in this break. So we didn't like that matchup. We can make a change ourselves.
Well, it may have something to do with Matt Maguire. What they do with him. If Riewoldt goes into the ruck, well, they're thinking, okay, we'll get White to run loose.
Gee, I worry about that. I worry about Nick Riewoldt going into the ruck when you've got a franchise.
I don't think he will.
But he has played there before, and hopefully the St Kilda Brains Trust say, let's try and keep him out of the ruck as much as possible. Throw someone else in there, but Nick Riewoldt, I think, is a franchise player for 10 years. You just don't want him jumping in at the ruck contest.
If you joined us late, the Brisbane Lions pushed out to a 14-point lead at one stage in the first term. It was 2 at quarter time. And then in the second term, St Kilda kicked 4 goals forward to 1 behind, led by 25 points at half-time, and maintained that lead in the third quarter. A goal after the siren to Nick Riewoldt, making the margin what it is now, 4 goals. And just 16 seconds into the final term, the neck brace, the oxygen mask attached to St Kilda ruckman Trent Noble, who, against his former club, the 23-year-old, performing so valiantly tonight. And just another look at it. Again, didn't grow up to be an AFL footballer, has only in fact played footy since 1996, was a Queensland junior swimming and surf lifesaving champion, actually born northern New South Wales at Mullumbimby, and now carving out an AFL career, formerly of Brisbane and now with St Kilda.
The problem there in that clash is that he couldn't get his hands down early enough to brace himself, so his head's hit the ground before he's even got his hands out in front of him.
The roar of the crowd, you heard some pushing and shoving away from the ball. Mark Fussell is there. Nathan Burke.
Well, let's remember,
make a fuss. Here's Maguire and Charman now.
yeah, let's remember that it is a St Kilda
Free
ball.
kick.
Yeah, they have the footy. And so often when we see a long break like this, somehow a player gets loose.
It shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Brisbane should have numbers in their back half by this stage.
Chris Johnson ducking out of the way of the cart. Still going to be a moment or so now. Time elapsed here up to 5.5 minutes in this term, so that will throw the players out come the end of the quarter when they look up at the scoreboard and think, how late in the term are we? Maguire and Charman are going to have a big say in how this game pans out.
Let's say those carts are one of the greatest innovations in our game also.
Here, and they can take him straight down to the door of the St Kilda room. So after a delay of 5.5 minutes, with feelings running a little high already, we're back to game action with Powell of St Kilda taking the kick. And he drives a long ball to full forward for Rewalt, but there's plenty of Lions back there, and Chris Scott has the mark. How important the first goal of this final term. Chris Johnson read it well. Marks on half-back, gives to Darryl White. Now he's got Pike long, goes to him. Pike reads the bounce, caught. Lappin for Darryl White, good play. White to full forward, Lynch or Carosella. The former Bomber can swoop here with the opening goal from 45 metres out.
Well, Grant Thomas would be ropeable that the Brisbane Lions could mark the ball in their forward 50 from a long kick without a contest. Chris Scott was the man taking the mark.
18 possessions, 4 goals last week. This will be possession number 18 tonight without a goal. Right behind the kick, Carosella missing badly to the near side. One behind.
First score for the quarter as Schwartz brings it back in to Lenny Haynes. He just spots up Goddard, who wants to come all the way across to Fraser Gehrig, who's provided a clever option. Now Justin Peckett's has just come straight off the interchange bench, but Gehrig ignores him for the longer option in Rewalt, pushed in the back by Lepic. Just so conscious of Rewalt's strength overhead. Chip pass back into the middle to Hayes once again. Lenny Hayes, good kick towards Hamill. White dropping back, courageous mark. Cops one in the back.
Too slow for mine, Matty. The St Kilda side is
50
slow.
metres. White's in the hands of the trainers. He gets up slowly. It's been a night of attrition.
The issue isn't the contest there. The issue is the way that it came about by St Kilda being too slow getting it in their forward line.
Knew the contest was coming, and the knee in the back, in the kidneys.
Well, I think he tried to pull out.
Oh, look, it wasn't deliberate.
No, he's a bit late. I think he tried to pull out, but...
Oh, and Aaron Hamill attacks the contest hard. He always has done, always will. Ball's got to come back. Now, what the Saints have been able to do here is drop all but 5 of their players past the centre square. So they've got 13 players back there, and they've clogged it up. So it's going to be hard for the Lions. Scott saw Carosella, beautiful hands, but then forgot to give it. Heath Black. Rolling out now, still alive. Maguire took his time. Lappin, quick give. We'll finally have a ball up.
It's good stuff, isn't it? The Brisbane Lions trying to fight their way back into it. Look at the numbers here. What chance is second bounce? Charman, it splits to Powell. Pickett, important bounce, doesn't favour him. Darryl White. McGrath charging through. Long ball to fall forward. At the back, Alistair Lynch for his stand. He's got it! Never count them out. 17 points the difference. Alistair Lynch has got 3.
Again, I hate to say it, but they have just been too slow and a horrible kick by Powell. Bad bounce for Pecker, did the right thing, got in front. Darryl White's had an impact in the last quarter, the start of this last quarter. Fraser Gary's gone the full back, and Alistair Lynch just read it better. 3 goals for the game. Ordinary start to this game too.
3 now to Lynch, 7 disposals. A little bit fortunate, didn't take the mark, but it fell for him. Margin within 3 goals. Maguire with a super punch. Here's Hamill, bumped off it by Scott. Out wide to Brad Scott. He can chip over the top or decides to use White. Back to Power. Short, just 15 metres if that, to Simon Black. He slows it down. St Kilda doing a good job of manning up here. Forced to kick long. Down the line. Pike, almost. Shattuck, beaten to it by Copeland. Searching handball to Lappin. Thought about going inside, then hooks it back to the top of the square. Lynch, off the ground came Clark, saving kick. Murray sees 2 lines approaching. Clever tap back from Johnson to McRae across the face. Standing and waiting is Lappin, and that is good centering kick and clever play. Some experienced heads there, Tony.
Was, and the pressure on Alan Murray. I knew what the young fella was trying to do. He was trying to play for the boundary line, but he didn't bend over. He's probably feeling tired now. And McRae, very disciplined play. Didn't go for goal, tried to centre it, and Lappin was on the end of it.
He missed a set shot earlier in the evening.
Not good signs for St Kilda. Aaron Hamill coming from the ground.
One gets the feeling he must kick this. And that's just as bad as his last attempt because neither of them have scored.
It's staggering, isn't it? Lee's perplexed. 17 points, the lead for St Kilda. And Nigel knew straight away. No friends with that kick. Gehrig, short to the opposite back pocket for Lawrence. Oh, Heath Black had to wait a moment with Charman bearing down. He takes the mark. Will kick to Maguire against Pike. Well-weighted ball, Maguire the mark. Good movement this St Kilda. Need a steadying goal in the face of the Brisbane comeback. Maguire winding some time off the clock. Long to half forward for Riewoldt in a pack of many. Chris Johnson the spoil. Hayes, can he keep it in? He cannot. Boundary throw-in.
You just go back to that Heath Black kick from the half-back line. Bad play by Jamie Sharman. He held him up, but then the left footer was allowed to come into the corridor. He had to overplay the mark, so he had to kick over him.
Chris Scott in a bit of bother.
Good crowd tonight, 30,313, the best since that final 6 years ago. The last time St Kilda beat Brisbane. Baker's tied up by Copeland, it's going nowhere, we'll have a bounce. Saints working some moves off the bench, Murray coming off now. There's Chris Scott.
He's coming off, now they're
goodness.
down, yeah. Ashcroft will come on for him.
Ashcroft, the only fit man on that bench for Brisbane. Maybe we need more interchange players. St Kilda break it open. Aussie on the run. Riewoldt or Voss. And by God, in front, takes the mark. Leppich appealing, protesting. Wants the free. Doesn't want to give away 50 for mouthing off. Goddard will line it up from 45 metres out.
Well, Leppich believed that he was shepherded off from the contest. That's why he couldn't get the Goddard. But Scott comes from the ground. That nearly calls out. They had one more player in their forward line, St Kilda, than the Brisbane line defenders.
Brendan Goddard, the 18-year-old, first-year player, hooks the kick for behind. The margin is 3 straight kicks.
I haven't seen one of those for a while. What do you think, Tony?
Well, Leppich said that he was shepherded off, as you can see there from the contest. Whether he ran into him.
Riewoldt seemed to just hold his line.
Yeah. Still, you've got to make the umpires know, Matty, just in case it happens again.
You never spoke to an umpire, did you, Tony?
Not very often.
Now Black has spotted a player on his own, and it's Johnson. Breaking for him. McGrath. Oh, good chase from Riewoldt. The kick behind McGrath. Johnson will go again. Down the line, Brennan. Carousella in some space. Over his head. Good mark, Voss. And the quick switch to Burke. Goddard wants it. Brad Scott with him. Charman decides to keep it in. It could suit the Saints here. Maguire, backpedaling, long ball. Peckett has the sit. Not to be. Ackermanis goes to ground and somehow gets the handball out to Shattuck. Chris Johnson all on his own again. Rewalt the chase. Great chase. Johnson just gets his kick, but you feel that Rewalt did enough to cause it to go short. Once again, Brett Voss in the way.
And Brett Voss is having some sort of game. A dozen marks, if you can believe it. Nick Rewalt, ditto, his 12th mark. Finds Peckett on the wing. Saints still by 3 goals. Lions flooding back. Peckett, bereft of options, holding on, going short. Finding Hayes about to be caught. Thumps it to the goal square. Target Milne. Couldn't bring it down. Can he recover? Ackermanis pursuing him. Good contest. We'll have a bounce with a Brisbane Lion player hurt. We've said that often tonight as the players, like a game of Twister, sort themselves out. It was McGrath who went down. Well, he's been battered and bruised tonight. No free kick there. We'll have a bounce. Deep in the attacking zone for St Kilda. Maguire winning it down. Ackermanis. High ball. Punched away White. Boundary throw in. Half forward St Kilda.
I think they're just doing enough, aren't they? They're just hanging on the Saints. Conversion has been good by the Brisbane Lions.
Oh, retake your seat, sir. This settle down. We've got 11 and a half minutes to go. Milne, Proppy.
Checking.
Goddard. Hayes. Heath Black. Caught. Copeland. Hayes. Goddard slipping on that outer side. Gone. Still they go St Kilda. Hayes. Baker. Touch of the fumbles. Powell. High ball to the pocket. Milne or Rewalt the targets. At the back and Aussie Jones get there. A behind is the result. The margin is 19 points.
Very important point for this game. 4 kicks now needed by Brisbane.
Murray on the bench. 3-goal 1 margin. Lions quick to move it. Lappin. Leading disposal winner for the Lions is Nigel Lappin. But he has blotted the copybook in front of goal with 2 shockers. McGrath still going. Short to Shattuck. Open forward line. Lynch is one out. 1-on-1. That's where he goes. Gehrig with him.
Oh.
Free kick Lynch. Saints fans unhappy.
Well, they thought that Milne should have got a free kick for in the back, up the other end.
Lynch has already gone for a long one in the 3rd quarter. He's hooked that one. It may stay in. Going back. Great back. Goddard.
Just couldn't see why Alistair Lynch rushed that one. Steady up, try and pick someone in 50 or have a shot yourself.
Voss continues to get possessions. If you just join us, it's Brett Voss, not Michael. Baker, dangerous kick, Shattuck marks. Short, plenty to pick from. Brad Scott, told to play on, has to go back to Chris Johnson. Saints still with the pressure. He goes long now. Charman on a long lead. Strong mark. Charman and Maguire have had to lift. Copeland, Lappin, runs into trouble from just outside 50. Low ball, over the top, and he's got one. You don't know how. He can't kick it from a set shot.
That's exactly right, Manny. The last man in the building the Lions wanted to have the ball right there was Nigel Lappin. And luck's a fortune, it goes over the pack and rolls through.
Well, it had the break. The dam had the break, and I think this has been happening. It happened in the 3rd quarter. The Saints have gone back into their shells. They've been too slow to get the ball forward. And as you said, Nigel Lappin, he's had a shocking night kicking on goal.
You'll see that tomorrow night on the Winners, 7:30 here on Fox Footy. 13-point game. The Brisbane Lions with a 2-goal to none final term are surging. Charman wins it down to Lappin. Here they come again. Brad Scott to Lynch on the lead. Won't get there. Lawrence chops it off. Well done. To Moyle on half-back. Oh, the bounce is not going St Kilda's way. Good tackle on Icamanis. No prior opportunity. A bounce the result.
Stevie Lawrence, great courage to take the mark, but you've got to balance up now. They need to steady. Tried to switch the play, and I think he kicked it with his knee, matter of fact.
There are supporters on the top deck here leaning over the railings, having a go at the umpires, urging on their team. Well done, Moyle. The soccer kick gains 15 metres. Can Pike gain possession? Yes. Steadies. Working in limited space. High ball, all St Kilda. Brett Voss, the game of his life, mark number 14. Now Xavier Clark. We're in time on, but as you see, a long time to go after the stretcher case involving Noble. Rewalt dragged off it, but got it to Hayes. Tries to stiff arm Shattuck. Pickett's caught by Pike. Will have a bounce on the wing. Chris Scott nearly cramping up. Mark Doran nearly cramping up. So many injuries, Mark.
I have, yeah. I've nearly gone down myself. Trent Noble is up and about inside the rooms. The medicos is still with him. He was physically ill as he went into the rooms, but that's a good sign that he was able to get up. The ambulance was there ready to take him away, but they might not have to.
Thanks, Mark. Lappin to fall forward. At the back. Lynch charging out. Can he lay it off for power? No. McRae lurking dangerously. Handball, Brennan. Snap. Misses. Is it a behind? No. Out on the full. Talk about important behinds, Tony. That one not paid to the Lions, so the margin remains 2 goals, 1 or 13 points.
Nigel Lappin having an influence. I'll try that again. Nigel Lappin having an influence in this last quarter. 8 disposals.
So's Jamie Sharman. Now that Trent Noble's gone from the ground, getting his first hands at the stop plays.
Contest coming. High flyers. Spoil came from Brennan. No, Schwarz too strong in front.
Good mark.
Good mark. He wants Clark over the back. Jones, the man on here. Jones kicks it long. Out in front of Stephen Mill. McGrath with him once again. The spoil towards the boundary. Peckett leads wide. Keeps his feet. Now spots up a player short. It was Rewalt. The kick bounces off Levich's chest. A chance for Rewalt for number 5 against the run of play. It's a behind. 14-point margin to the Saints. 2 goals, 2. Go back to Mark Doran.
The St Kilda skipper Aaron Hamill on the bench, not with anything wrong with his body, but his vision. He copped a bump early on, complained of blurred vision at 3/4 time, and he really just can't take any part as much as he wants to get back out there.
Lions bring it in from the kick in quickly. Power won't reach Pike. He did well to spoil from Lawrence. Has Power running to fall forward. One-on-one Lynch, Gehrig. What a good mark. Goes to Schwarz on half-back and he's got it. He was almost off. Not quite. Had to rein in the enthusiasm. Delivers to Rewalt. Read it well. Bound to be caught. Good pressure, Brennan. Rewalt's kick. Boundary line best result for the Saints and he's got it.
A lot of tired players out there at the moment. The Saints players are running themselves into the ground. Robert Harvey, I'm looking at Robert Harvey, you know, one of the fittest players in the competition. He's running up and down on the one spot.
Listen to those Saint fans. Near the line, Harvey happy to see it over, stop the clock. Pat on the back for a hero. He's had 26 possessions, had 40 last week. Can they hang on and post their 6th win for the season? Down to 6:14 to go. Maguire in front. Hayes caught, going nowhere. We'll have a bounce, the clock will run. Credit the Brisbane Lions for throwing everything at them. Heavy injury toll. The Lions with Voss, Bradshaw, McDonald out of commission. The Saints without Hamill and Noble. So not too much run off the bench as we have a look at the leading possession winners. Charman getting his hand to it now. Shattuck for Power. Is this the the moment for Brisbane. Too much on it for Brad Scott. Good recovery. Moyle, the tackle, terrific. Clark wins the footy. What a saving tackle there. Clark for Heath Black. That may have been it. That may have been the moment. Black to full forward. That tackle from Moyle may have been archived on your St Kilda highlight reel.
Yes, I think it'll be shown a few hundred times this week because they were off and running Brisbane. And I just looked at Jamie Sharman because Maguire, he's had his colours lowered, especially around the stop plays. He was 25 metres away from Maguire on that occasion when that ball came into the forward line. You can just see, there he is, Maguire.
If he kicks the goal, you'll hear a guttural roar from the St Kilda supporters. They should be home.
Oh.
They're not. They're not. 15 points the lead.
Saints
Listen by
fans.
that much.
Yes. Just that's the width of the post, I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yep.
That might have been the fish he caught yesterday.
They once caught a fish this big. Lappin. Still running, gets the Shepherd into some space. Lions streaming forward. St Kilda stream back, good kick. Copeland slips it off to McGrath, who kept running. Gee, that's a super goal. One of the best goals of the year. Not spectacular, but great hard running. They ran in a wave of 5 or 6 then, didn't they, Tony? And just kept going.
Well, you said, you named it about 5 or 6 minutes ago. Nigel Lappin's having an influence on this game. Lee Matthews said he's one of the most courageous players he knows because his running ability to keep running all day. And on that occasion, you've got to give it to McGrath too. He was cramping up 5 minutes ago. Good finish under a lot of duress, a lot of physical duress.
Not a bad time to kick the second goal of your career. 9 points, a tenuous 9 points, St Kilda's lead. They've kicked 4 behinds only in this final term. The Lions are firing everything at them. Standing in the way though, Xavier Clark. 4 minutes left. Clark for Lawrence. Can't go ultra defensive just yet. Good ball. Chance for atonement here for Maguire. And he's going to be disappointed. Shattuck with the steal. And the delivery to Caracella. One out with Boss. Still Caracella. Well-weighted handball for Pike. 55 out to the goal square. Goddard getting back. Can you believe it? This for a 4th goal in the second half. He's been put on a tight angle, which he is disputing with Justin Schmidt. You would think it should matter not. It would make it a 3-point game with 3 minutes left. Lynch for number 4. The never say die Lions are right back in it now.
Well, what a great football team. They have got players on the bench who cannot come back on. Michael Voss has been missing since just before half-time. A bad kick into the middle by Maguire. I was just going to say, he started to run Sharman off his feet, a bit more mobility around the ground. But Lynch, the unlikely hero, he could not get near the ball in the first half. Looked very slow, bad at ground level. Well, he's kicked 4 in the second half.
Aaron Shattuck also has been good in the last 5 minutes. He's got fresh legs. He's in the middle at the moment.
Great interception.
Yep. 4 goals to Lynch.
I just wonder, Matty, well, you can see the flow of play has changed.
Oh, look, we can discuss that for hours. I just said that their intensity from the Saints won't give up. You've been waiting for how long before you can slip that in?
He used it.
What a game. 3 minutes, 3 points. That's the equation. Powell at the bottom. The Saints won't mind any ball up. They won't mind any time off the clock. 4 goals, 1 to 4 behinds. Mark Doran on the boundary.
That man on screen, Craig Starsvich, has played a part in this. He's been running around telling every player how long there's been to go so the Lions don't panic in the final stages.
Long ball forward, rebound! Harvey still running, still in the space. He has got out wide. Got him. I wouldn't put it past him to dob this.
He can kick
It is
a
late
long
in the
ball.
game.
You're right, Matty. He can kick a long
Long
ball.
Just turned 18. He's wound 20 seconds off the clock. Keeps it low. Almost re-walled there. Touched by Brennan. We have a 4-point game.
A goal to pinch it for the Brisbane Lions. That's the scoreline.
Huddle.
And the Saints have gone man-to-man. They've played this fair bit tonight.
Well,
and a loose man.
it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked because Darryl White, with 2 minutes to go, is off to the races. Pike with a great shepherd. No! No! It's a free kick. It wasn't a great shepherd. Heath Blake doesn't know he's got a free kick.
Well, what's the free kick for? He was within 5 metres, Darryl White. If your man doesn't see you coming, unless he said it was head high, that was no free kick by Hayden Kennedy.
Well, it's potentially a game-turning decision. There it is.
5 metres from the ball. Now, if that was head high, all right, it's the right decision.
Saints can run it down. Leading by 4 points. Clark decides to go long. Milne is the target. He's got it. Stephen Milne will be about a metre or two too far out this late in the game, you would think, to goal from here. Lions have got to make sure they man up. Milne in front of McGrath, taking the mark. Clock continuing to run now. Another look there at the controversial shepherd. Milne, is he too far out? Gives it everything. He is too far out. Off hands, Lions take it. Black hurries a kick forward. They should have conceded it behind. Goddard, handball. Baker, snap. Charman a chance. Hurries a kick out wide. St.Kilda Schwartz there. Near the line, Jones. Handball. Stop the clock. Boundary throw-in. Had the Lions taken it over from behind, they would have stopped the clock and had the footy and only 5 points down. The difference between 4 and 5 points at the moment doesn't matter. There is still time for them.
You've got to explain to me, Clinton, that free kick. What's it for? In the back, head high. Let's go on with it.
Game to be decided here. Hayes is tied up. A bounce would do St Kilda good. A goal would be better. Harvey for Baker. Lenny Hayes to win the game for St Kilda. Brisbane have 20 seconds to go the length of the field and pull off a miraculous victory.
And what will they do here? Again, they've gone man-to-man. Yes, they've gone man-to-man in the middle in the zone, in the huddle. Last time White broke free. 19 seconds on the clock. Only a goal. Lappin. 11 possessions from the corner. Off he goes. No one to kick to, though. 10 seconds. You'd figure the Saints have got enough here. Shattuck. Back through the middle. Ackermanis. Seconds remaining. Before Luke Power has marked no mark, Saints have won an incredible finish to this game. The Saints, with their biggest scout for the season, have won the game as Luke Power, just to make things worse, kicks the goal. It's all over at Telstra.
It's on as well. Ackermanis is in it. St Kilda have won by 5 points and 1 second. Just soak this in, folks. What a night.
Martin Pike asking the question, what for?
And so would I. I would ask, what for? Did I hit him head high? Was it a... There was no way known that Shepherd was 5 metres from the ball. And again, that umpire, when the siren went then, made the right decision. No doubt the siren went before.
Oh, for sure, yeah, no doubt.
Luke Powell marked that ball.
Lepich running to the umpires as well, and he's having some words. Shouldn't be doing that, Justin Lepich. He's waved away by the men in white, away from our camera. What an emotional roller coaster here. And the Saints celebrate an unbelievable win. How close was it at the end? We'll find out in a moment. The man of the night was a Voss. It wasn't the one we're expecting. Here's Brett with Mark Doran.
Brett, you've been trying to forge your own identity away from your brother, as has the club, and to be able to do it against